guards on your way out.
Hello. It's great to be here tonight. On a warm, rainy summer night.
Perfect movie night.
Yeah, great summer movie too. I'm a big fan of this film as a coming-of-age story, a hangout film, kind of a light stoner comedy too. It just kind of fits into all these different camps of film, and now 17 years later, it sort of feels like this timeless work. It's a film set in the 80s, came out in the late aughts, and now, even today, it still feels like a modern, contemporary film, as much as like Lady Bird or Eighth Grade, some of those coming-of-age films that have come out in the last 10 years. So what do you think is the mark of a timeless film, and how is that achieved?
Honestly,
Martin, you start.
hold on. You guys want to jump in here?
You got it.
No.
I did want
What
to
was
say
your
because
experience like working on this?
Yeah.
Why don't we start there?
I did want to start by saying thank you so much to everyone for coming. It's amazing to see everybody here, and this is one of the reasons why
So many familiar faces too.
well, it's one of the reasons why we love Omaha so much. The amount of support that you guys give the arts community is just unparalleled to any other city. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you to Film Stream for having us.
It's such a pleasure.
Also, thank you, Martin, for coming.
Yeah, thanks for hosting this Q&A, Ezra. We're good friends.
Do you remember the question?
Swear, yeah.
Timeless movie?
I think honesty. I think in storytelling, the thing that transcends time generally and that kind of bleeds through no matter what generation is looking at it is honesty. And I think this is coming from a real place. This is Greg Matola's story from his experience working at a place also called Adventureland. But his, I believe, was on Long Island, didn't exist anymore. And so we went to one in Pittsburgh that was actually still up and running, and it was not working the months that we were there, because we were working there. But yeah, it looks sketchy as hell. But I think honesty is really what transcends and brings you back to a story because of its humanity. That's my take. You can disagree if you want to, but I don't recommend it.
On top of that, I think a lot of what works for this film too is it's kind of appealing to nostalgia in a way, which I think Matola has a great sense of across all of his filmography. But specifically here, it's not the kind of aesthetic nostalgia that we're kind of bombarded with today. It's more of nostalgia for shared experiences, like a summer job, a first love, the broken friendship. Do you think nostalgia is more intoxicating when it's like that, or if it is more like aesthetically driven?
These are tough questions.
You really dug into it. Well, shit.
I've got some easy ones coming.
I mean, I don't know. I once again feel like the honesty from the purity of the story from his childhood will resonate with anyone going through it, or even people who are just aware enough and younger, looking forward to that moment in their lives. I was also a part of a show called Freaks and Geeks, and a lot of people, thank you. A lot of people share that show with their kids as like preemptively, here's what high school is kind of like, and I think it's probably very different now, just with how much technology has permeated every aspect of our lives. But it still is at the core of what becoming an adult or the next stage from teens to going into high school looks like. It still feels the same. It just has a different map, or the
I watch movies like this and I just immediately get nostalgic for the time before smartphones and kind of like the trauma bonding that you would have with your friends going through just kind of like the daily life of working a job that you hate, but at least you're trying to make the best of it with the people around you. And I think this movie captures it so well, and I think you do a great job in the film of capturing kind of just that time in life.
Ezra hasn't seen the movie yet, but he's heard a lot of it.
Yeah, but that line works for any movie.
He read the clip notes, and yeah, he does that at every Q&A that we do together. We'll be touring the country.
Again, not in Adventureland, and the only Adventureland we've been to was somewhere in Iowa.
Which I feel like we can't leave without singing the "Come on over to the." Sorry,
But I
though.
never heard that, I have no idea what that
I will be showing that to you
We're
later.
playing local hits, man, that's not good, that's cheap.
So, connected there, do you remember your first summer job, your first high school job that can relate to this?
Acting, move on.
We were counselors at a summer camp, which I feel like is kind of close to working at a amusement park.
Yeah, we didn't do anything there either, so.
But similar thing, kind of just like the time before smartphones and bonding with people through like summer heat and total jobs that suck and just trying to have fun with it. That's all I had.
Yeah, absolutely. Martin, you've built your career around incredibly comedic projects. You mentioned Freaks and Geeks, to the Apatow and model of films, and Silicon Valley, obviously, as well. What comedic influences really brought you to the career that you've had today?
I met Jim Carrey while we were shooting at the end of production on Freaks and Geeks. We had a rap party, and Judd had worked with him prior on Cable Man. What was it called? Cable Guy. Cable Man? I hired this guy to do a Q&A. I'll let
The next
myself out.
superhero that you're playing.
Yeah, Cable Man. Get ready, move over, Marvel. So I met Jim Carrey that night, and that was probably the biggest moment for me as a kid, growing up, like, just imitating him long before I ever thought I'd have an opportunity to do anything like this. I would just make an ass out of myself in front of my parents' friends, so to get to do it is pretty crazy. But yeah, he definitely was a huge influence. That's the only person that comes to mind, but I you know, Ed Norton I loved, obviously not comedy, but I also got to meet him and go scuba diving with him and swim through an orchard of whale sperm. Don't need to go into too more detail there.
Please do, please do.
I had a beard, and you can imagine.
This was billed as family friendly, I believe.
Oh.
Letting you know that now.
Well, you lied. Yeah, do you need more information?
No. This cast is obviously stacked as well. We were just chatting about this with Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart leading, and then your supporting cast rounded out by you, Ryan Reynolds, Bill Hader, Kristin Wiig. It just goes on and on and on. I can imagine it was a blast.
Matt Bush.
Yeah, Matt Bush. I can imagine it was a blast to make this film. Do you have any specific memories that you can think of that just like pops to the top of your mind?
Yeah. Well, Matt Bush and I met on this, and he is still my best friend. Him and his wife and 2 kids live in a place that I own in Los Angeles now, and I don't know why I led with that. We've just been friends since that movie. I kind of forced him to move to Los Angeles because I was like, you're my friend, like we gotta live in the same place. You can't, this is too far. He was living in New York at the time, and I think he was about to quit acting after that movie. He was very up in the air, and I don't know, just good guy. This was while we were shooting the movie, Kristen got an opportunity to go to Los Angeles, or maybe the director of what's the thing that she did that was so massive? Twilight. So she was like, yeah, these like children's books. I'm meeting with this girl. I read one of the books, and it's fun, I guess. And so I'm meeting with this woman, and then of course that turned into the beginning of a crazy career. Adventureland would have been like, oh yeah, she's like a cult classic actress, and then that movie was she's gone. But she's awesome. I knew most of the people prior, except for her and Matt, like that I became good friends with. But Bill Hader's awesome, and Kristin Wiig is incredible, and Matola I've known for a while. He did Superbad before that, which while we were shooting the movie, before we started shooting the movie, they were figuring out the budget, and they wouldn't give him a bigger budget than, I think we had 7 million, and they were waiting for Superbad to break 100 before they were willing to give him 7 to make this what they consider an art house movie, which, to be fair, it is just like it is a movie that it didn't do great when it was released, but it stands the test of time because it's such a pure, relatable story. As does Superbad, but it was a different. Superbad is a much bigger, kind of broader, comedic, sillier, but
yeah,
still
it's
like
stylistically a lot different too. This was
Very
like a return to him doing, more grounded like Day Trippers, where he was just
totally.
he's just in the drama of it and,
Yeah.
and making funny movies.
Yeah, I think this kind of walks a tightrope of having comedic beats and being sweet and also sad, deeply sad. I mean, he's as I am as well. There's a sadness. There's a sadness that I think goes with being an artist in general, because it's a lonely life at times. Like, to do it at all, you gotta put a lot into it before you ever see a return on investment. But I think everything good in life, that is the case.
Yeah, I think your character in this too is like, there's such a richness that is developed over the time of it. Like, he kind of feels like just this side character, and then really towards the end he becomes such a really I don't know, such an important character towards how the end of the film feels too. Was that like something that you helped develop in the script at all? Was there any rewriting or anything like that?
That was all there. I mean, it was a great script. Matola really, I remember having a conversation with him where he told me that who he was really in the story was my character. And, developed he was kind of parts of many characters, but I think he most related to Joel, which is sad. What a bummer.
All right, a little bit of a shift now from the film.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about candy? Did you guys like the candy? You guys all got some, yeah?
It rocks. I had some during the film too.
Literally, rock is good. Rock jams.
I meant that. The three of you are obviously major candy enthusiasts.
We love candy.
But what makes your company extra special is your dedication to the arts and education and creatives program. Where did that really come from between you three meeting and this unlikely sort of?
I think it came from different parts kind of each of us. Like for us, we're so proud to be from a community that supports its arts and arts education, and we feel like we had the best public school music education one could have at Westside High School.
Yeah, West Side.
West
Side works.
It's 66.
Are we, how hard do we go here? I don't know.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that in Omaha we kind of were taught to dream big, and I think just going to New York and LA after that, it kind of taught us that community is a very important thing, and to give back to it is even more important. And I think that tonight's a really good example. It's just we wanted to bring Martin back here. You've been to Omaha 5 times now, though.
At least 3. You always add a
No.
multiplier.
There's a 4th time that you're forgetting entirely.
I was like, my mic's dead, but I'd love to add something.
Go.
I think that was intentional.
Just take it.
I was gonna say it's gonna even itself out perfectly. No, I mean, I think the three of us really care about kind of what the next generation of what the arts looks like. I think with kind of technology the way it is, we want it to be grounded in your community and less kind of in the digital era. And I think for us that means being a part of the community and showing up for the community. And for us, I mean, we started this candy company as friends, and it was kind of like a hypothetical.
And now we hate each other.
Pivot. No, but the more that it has grown, the more enjoyment I think the three of us get from kind of showing up and talking to people and talking about things so much deeper than just candy. But the candy itself is obviously, I'm sure we'll get to that, but the community part is and the arts component of it is what kind of has been the North Star for the three of us.
And I think art is something that we use that, I don't want to call it training, but I think the way that we lean into our creativity lends itself really well to what we do with the candy. We get to explore things that we like, I still pinch myself because as a kid, I used to steal candy from the store because my parents stopped giving me my allowance because I used to buy only candy with it. And to now be able to make candy, like to know how it's made and go to a factory and like wear the little weird
hair
hats
nets
and
and
the beard net and look at these giant machines that are making a thing that we just thought up in our brains, and we were like, this mold idea would be really cool, it represents them so well, but we think the musical note is such a universal symbol that why wouldn't we try to reshape the gummy bear brand as like a gummy music note?
Something that means something to people.
Yeah, and
Just
means
a bear
something,
or-
means something specifically to all of us, but everybody's touched by music in some way, even if it isn't represented by that symbol because that's unfamiliar. It still is like a part of life, and we got to explore that, and create that, and all of this is really driven by our creativity. So to be able to give back and help other people be creative in the ways that they want to be in a time when funding is being pulled from a lot of those sources, great. We're honored to be.
Music you can chew on.
I don't know why this came up with that. I like, that'll be on our next bag. Music you can chew on.
Your new slogan.
You're seeing it happen in real time.
Yoni, did you write that down? Oh, he doesn't like being called out, but he's right there. I saw him put his head down, and that really gave him away.
He's literally gonna leave the more you talk.
Yeah, he's still here for now.
I have an aside, speaking of just like great arts and culture here in Omaha. I had the pleasure of attending Jazz in the Green here the other night. Fantastic, yeah. I was introduced to the work of Brittany Davis of Black Thunder. We're a trio of jazz musicians that are just remarkable. So I had the question of just what's the most recent discovery in the arts that you've made recently, whether it's music or movies or TV or prose.
Brittany Davis and Black Thunder?
Yes.
That's it? That's what I just learned about.
Yeah, sure. I think the three of us also totally bond, and this is gonna sound so stupid and immature, but like we like playing video games together, and I think video games is kind of like this other genre that is often overlooked in like a creative arts like sector. But the amount of storytelling that comes from it, you're actually the character. You're a part of the story. I think that's so interesting, and I'm excited. I think we've been working on music for video games for the past couple of years now, which has been amazing. But to keep that going, because I remember as a kid playing games and hearing a trumpet and being like, I can't wait till D gets to be that trumpet player, or I get to play. I mean, there's very few trumpet probably in video games, but
Yeah, it seems pretty limited.
it is limited. But
Prohibiting.
I think I'm most inspired by kind of like the growth of the interactive space and just seeing like kids hopefully eventually play video games like music we're making for it.
To circle back to Omaha, too, we were just at the Ted Lasso premiere, and
Not to brag.
literally not. The first episode of this season, not spoiler, is like basically Jason's love letter to Kansas City, and like eventually that is very inspiring to us, and just how something in the future could be about Omaha in that way on such a huge stage. It's inspiring to see Jason do that. I think is kind of the point I was making. You give me like a terrible look.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Great
point.
point. I like that, Dee. That's great.
You answer the question then.
That was
It's his turn. It's his turn.
Go.
No, I did it, Brittany.
You wrote it down.
I'm listening on the way back.
Absolutely.
So that's what it's about.
Do we have any questions on the audience? I would like to open it up here.
All right.
I have a mic coming through here. We'll
Okay.
start right up front here.
Hello, great movie, Marin, thank you. And my name is Duke. I know I talked to you a little bit outside, but
I have your bottle opener.
yes, you do, and I have your autograph now, so we're even.
Hey, appreciate you.
But it's I'm currently, I've always wanted to work in comedy my whole life. I live in Omaha. Believe it, I work in corporate America right now, which is a hoot. And I actually spent a majority of it working in the confection business, working for Hershey, and then in college I worked my way through college as a chocolatier and florist, so I'm pretty actually familiar with the candy side of things. Hoping to.
You sure you want to keep doing comedy, or do you?
What's that?
Yeah, you're kind of stealing my vibe here, dude.
I know, man. But I've fully come to terms with the fact that number one, I genuinely don't really care about what I do at my job, and number two, that I'm not good at it, and I'm totally okay with that. And so I'm doing whatever I can to do what I can, I guess, from here, to try and figure out what I can do in comedy. I do stand-up, 5 nights a week. Taken improv classes. I've taken acting classes. I've always wanted to be like a comedic actor and a screenwriter as well. I have, final draft. I learned what I can on YouTube for that because I didn't go to school, like art school, and
YouTube can teach you a lot.
and I agree completely.
Learn how to make a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't know they taught comedy actually.
No, just to use final draft is what
Oh,
I
gotcha.
was using
Yeah, yeah.
for. Yeah.
Respect.
But you're somebody who I grew up watching, and Freaks and Geeks. When I was a little young for the original premiere, but Freaks and Geeks, and Knocked Up, obviously, and Adventureland, things like that. Haven't watched Silicon Valley all the way through. Sorry, but
Wow.
yeah, I know.
The ADD generation, am I right?
Definitely worth watching that.
I know. I agree. But
I have ADD, I get it, dude.
seeing somebody like you who's for more than 2 decades have been incredibly, tremendously successful in doing exactly what I want to do. If you were me from this standpoint, and where I do think the talent is there and the drive is there, the location might be a little off because I don't think we have a booming film scene here. But at the time, right now, like, what would you do in terms of finding a network? If you were me, what advice would you give me for somebody who wants to be in your shoes?
Go to a bigger city and start taking a class and meet people who want to do what you do and start making stuff with them. You might be a little late, but that doesn't mean it's not capable. It can happen at any time. Jack Nicholson didn't hit till he was in his 40s. He was a screenwriter until then. If you love it and you're willing to put in the work, go find other people who love it too and start making things with them that mean something to you.
And I would just add quickly, like, Omaha has a lot of resources for people in the arts community that maybe before you've done it best then. You can, and jazz we would say, like, hone your chops, get in the shed, and get as good as you can at the craft before you even get to the networking part. And then I think Omaha's the perfect place to do that component of it.
Acting is a little different than music. You need other people. It's not something you can just sit in and work on your instrument. Your instrument needs to be sharpened and tuned with other people. So I would suggest that you not only work on things on your own, but not that Omaha isn't a place where you could do it, but you will have more opportunity in a place like Los Angeles or New York to meet a lot more of those people. Those specific places, or London if you want to go international. But meeting, I think in an art like this, which is social by nature, you want to meet other people who you can do this with and get better with. Personally.
Yeah, next question. Go middle here.
Hello. Adventureland is one of my favorite movies, and I'm so happy to be here.
All right.
I think I've watched it like 5 times this summer, and don't ask me how many times I've watched it overall. But I've always wondered, the inexplicably named Flying Dutchman, was that a scenic element created for the film, or was that there?
I think that was in the script. I think that was in the whole.
I was kind of hoping that was just at the park. Were there any elements that were part of the park that were put into the film just because you environmentally found it there and then made it part of the movie?
There were legit coasters that were broken down, if that's what you're asking. And I think there were some injuries prior to us getting there that happened. But
Was
we
it the
just-
foot in the speaker in the parking lot?
I wasn't a witness to this, so I can't speak. But yeah, I don't remember anything specific that was drawn from the park and then made its way into the script. Matola was pretty, but he may have gone there actually for a visit before we ever started shooting and sculpted it a little bit around that. But that's not a question I can answer.
It's okay. I'm gonna pretend like the Flying Dutchman was there.
Yeah, no, the Flying Dutchman was there. We just used it in the movie.
Thank you so much. That's what I wanted.
can see one back over here.
How did you three meet each other?
We met at a charity event in Kansas City called The Big Slick. Rob Riggle started it to raise money for the Children's Hospital there because we went to a charity event and they raised like $15,000. He was like, "That's cool, but I think I can do this better. I think I can help this community better." And all of his family started helping. And then Paul Rudd got involved, and Jason Sudeikis got involved, and all of their families are all from Kansas City. And David Koechner got involved, and Eric Stonetree got involved, and all these people who were from Kansas got their families involved. And we go out just to help support those people and this community and that children's hospital. Specifically, it's for the cancer wing of the Children's Hospital, which is a non-profit. And we met there just hanging out, and it's always the best weekend of my year. Being able to go and visit these kids in the hospital is like profoundly impactful.
It also helps, the research that they do at the hospital helps people all over the world, which is incredible. But we every day that we're there, we go into the hospital and meet with kids and families, and a lot of them are from Nebraska.
I think overall raised $20-something million at this point.
It gets bigger every year too. I would just say the thing that, well, I'm sure, I know we have a great story of how we met the first night of that I'll let Dee say if it's there, but the way that those guys feel
Oh
about.
yeah, we played Russian roulette. Crazy. Kids, ask your parents.
No, that wasn't there. No, just the way that those guys feel about Kansas City is the way how Dee and I feel about Omaha. Like, we're so proud of it, like the way they are, and they just want to show it off to everybody, which is exactly what we do by making you come all the way down here. So, yeah.
You wanna
What
tell
I'm
the story?
supposed to tell?
Yeah, up to you.
I don't think it's,
What story is it?
yeah, I don't know what
I'm
you're
so
talking
curious.
about.
Well, yeah, no.
Clearly I was stoned because I don't remember.
You set me up for a story.
I know,
that
I
don't-
forgot.
And then I'm not going to tell it.
And then you forgot the story?
What's the next question?
Let's ask the
Oh,
audience.
How has making candy inspired your creativity beyond actually making the candy, but for you, Martin, in your acting, and for the Potash twins in your music?
I don't know that they have necessarily influenced each other, but it is really fun to be able to venture down a new creative path, and I think it just enlightens, it invigorates my desire to continue to kind of find, I don't know, it just keeps me curious. It's crazy that like I know so much more about candy and why things are sour. Like I know the ingredients now, which I didn't think. I never thought about like, oh, on the back, what are the ingredients that are actually causing my tongue to burn right now? But now I know all those things and how to change that equation to fit what I want it to be, and we get to make it how we want to make it, and that's super fun.
I think on the more the music inspiring the candy, the creativity from that, I think helps problem solve things that maybe we wouldn't have ever been in a situation where we needed to solve before. I wouldn't say necessarily the candy's influenced music yet.
Well, I think a way that the music.
It will. We'll be back here in a year to do another stream.
We'll have a good answer.
You asked us that same question.
Well, I think on the actual like flavor profiles of the candy, we always think about it like music. Like, how do we make this like flavor and this?
Yeah, they're always
flavor?
like, this is kind of a C minor, right, guys?
That's-
And we're like,
I
I
mean,
mean, what a nerd.
That C minor is too simple of a chord. C minor 7.5 diminished.
See what I mean, guys?
Sharp 11 probably.
This
but,
is what I have to deal with.
No, just we do think about it in terms of like when you stack this note with that note, what do those
What's
notes
the
sound like
harmony?
together? And so we do that with
Flavor.
flavor exactly. And
Harmonizing our flavors, if you will.
yeah.
It's a musical thing. Kids, ask your parents.
But I also think just the three of our creative heads, when we have a problem or we're like, we really want to make this, but we don't know how to make this, just thinking about it from the perspective of like three artists has been really interesting, and also like working together as artists has been really interesting,
And
and
we see everything so differently. It's really
so differently in like the best way.
fun. Yeah.
Like
The
I won't
tasting
even go into
process
that,
is
but yeah.
really fun because what we get out of it is very different. And
Then we all land on
talking
one,
out.
we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great question, sir.
Did we talk long enough?
all the way back.
Just a short one. I was just wondering if you were making an all-time bummer playlist or mixtape, what do you have a song or two that you would include on that list?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna cry up here. Stop trying to get me to cry up here, okay? I've done it enough. You saw it in the movie. Jesus Christ. Oh man. I don't know. I have problems with Lauryn Hill's Miseducation now because of my association with it. Because I played it all the time when I was 16 and I first got my car, and I was going on many dates with one girl, and I was like, and then it didn't go great, and so now I still love her voice, but that album has a unfortunate side effect in my body. And When You Say Nothing at All by, what's her name, Newsom? Joanna Newsom. That is another romantic path that it led to a dead end. Look, I'll write you a book. Come on.
We don't really listen to bummer stuff.
I mean, some Chet Baker gets pretty deep, I would say. A lot of Miles Davis stuff is deep too. That's all I'm gonna say.
Another question back here.
Hi. So it seems like through collaboration is the defining word of everyone's career here. Not just musicians for the Potash twins, but Starr, your collaboration with Paul Rudd, Siegel, Apatow with Freaks and Geeks, Party Down, Knocked Up. My question for you guys is, what is the benefit for collaboration right now? And what is an issue that you're proud to overcome because of your collaboration with each other?
Depression. I think
Is what we caused you, but
yeah, they brought it back. But for a while, art and just being more social and being connected to other people, which is the core of collaboration, that brought me so much joy and changed my brain chemistry, for sure. When I'm alone, that's when I've been at my most depressed. So collaboration has definitely helped me with that specifically. You asked another question, but I only answered the second one.
like what we overcame, I think, as working together is how I
think-
did.
Artists and, well, at least from the music side of things, collaboration is entirely important to the music making process because it introduces ideas that wouldn't have come naturally if you were just alone. And what I love about that is then when you're working with somebody who would do something you would never think of doing, then you would do something you would never think of doing in conversation with that idea. And I think that's what makes collaboration the most fun thing in music, and I guess in business now we have a candy company, so.
Yeah. I was just gonna also add the amount of support that we've gotten from our other friends, because we're having so much fun doing this, and they're seeing how much fun we're having doing this. They're like, what can I do to have fun with this? And so they're coming up with ideas, and so it makes every day more exciting because we're doing something new with it every day.
And we've got to bring a lot of our friends in to collaborate on the packaging and the people who are better at things that we're not as gifted at. And we get to invite people into this process with us to help just help us make this as unique and special as we can. And yeah, it's all collaboration is so necessary.
Over here.
Hi, I was just thinking about this when the Q&A started. You were asked, Martin, specifically about your comedic influences, and you mentioned Jim Carrey. I thought that was odd to me because I think of Jim Carrey as loud, bombastic, and you are so quiet and subtle. I feel even now, but thinking about all the roles you've played, I feel I think of you as mastering the art of directness, sarcasm. How did that come about? Is that just something you bring naturally to the characters, or is it written?
I think I took a class with a man named Kevin McDermott at a place called Center Stage LA that doesn't exist anymore in LA, and obviously Center Stage in LA. He was so genuine in how he communicated, and that was such an important factor, and his honesty. I mean, going back to what we talked about from your first question, what resonates most with people is honesty. It's being genuine in that moment, in that connection, and all of my training, if you want to call it that, for me it's just been fun, which is, I'm so lucky I get to do this. I constantly am, remind myself, every day is a reminder that I'm lucky to be able to do this and provide for my wife and I and live a good life and come visit and talk to people about something I love. It's crazy. You asked a question. I totally threw myself off course, and then I've forgotten what you've asked. And we should probably revisit that before I continue.
He was curious about comparing you to Jim Carrey. You guys are so kind of diametrically opposed within your comedy.
In that class, I learned both comedy and drama improv, and I think they lend to each other very well. And there's a subtlety in drama that's mandatory. And comedy, you can get away with more brazen takes on a topic. And I kind of learned them both together and became good at them both in a similar way, I think. Which allows me to do something like Adventureland, where there's subtle humor and subtle drama, where it's kind of necessary to be able to do it in a gentle way. But I've also done some really like broad stuff as well. It's really fun to like play and use a muscle that I rarely get to use. My friend Justin Adler made a show called Life in Pieces. And one day he called me and he was like, would you want to come and do a part in this? And you would play, you'd play an exterminator. And I was like, as long as I can say the word turlet in a genuine way, I'm in. Because he had written it that way in the script, and I was like, I think that's really funny. And I want that to be the foundation for what I do. And so I did that. And I went and got like fake teeth for it, and it just made it a whole thing. And I'm only in the show like once a season for a few scenes. But I got to play, and if you watch that, maybe you'll feel different, because that feels broad to me. But I still think it's honest in how I like to perform. Which I think I see in Jim Carrey in a different way, maybe. But while he is broad, he's still capable of like, The Cable Guy is such an incredible movie because you believe him, because his performance is honest. He seems like a crazy psychopath, and you believe it. And he's good at doing that, which feels over the top maybe in real life. But in that movie, you follow that whole story because you believe him. You can feel his heart.
I think we've got time for two more. We'll do this one back here, and then we'll end with this one up here.
Okay, so I'm coming down from a major sugar high. Thank you. It's awesome. I do think red is my favorite. So what
Strawberry
colors?
rhubarb.
Yeah, awesome. What color's next, and what's that flavor gonna be?
You know, this is the hardest question of the night.
In testing,
That melon thing?
oh, melon.
Oh, that, yeah, there's,
But I was
what
gonna
color
say
would that
peach.
be?
There was a
Oh,
peach.
peach, yeah.
Oh, peach
There
beet.
was something that was really
Yeah.
important to me when we were coming up with the flavors. Thank you for asking this question. We're gonna nerd out on candy for a second. I really
Yes.
wanted the fuzz on the outside of a peach. That was a flavor component that I pinpointed as wanting to achieve.
And it was a non-negotiable. It was like, we're gonna get this fuzz, so we're not
Which-
putting out a peach flavor.
Which I think we have it at like 35% in the peach that we used in the bag. But there was another flavor we tried from another company, because we described the flavors in great detail.
Like almost a page per flavor.
No, a small paragraph.
Just a small paragraph.
It was a
There were
paragraph.
It was a paragraph, it was not a page.
Somebody else was dictating.
Double space.
We did create a beginning, middle, and end, like a wine note. Like, it was obnoxious, yeah. But Tessa, who worked with us, who may still be here, if she has.
Yeah, she is here.
She was
Incredible
like,
candy science.
go into it as much detail as you want, or don't. Like, you do what you wanna do. Some people are very simple, and like, then you kind of you leave a lot more open to other people's determination of what you've written. But we were very specific, and what we got back were very, very specific flavors. And I think if you just ate one of those candies in the original bag, you can ride the roller coaster a little bit if you want to. You can also just eat it and it's sugar, fine. But we put a lot into finding and creating multi-dimensional flavors. And there's a peach that had a lot of fuzz, but it tasted more like canned peach. It had like a sweetness at the tail end, as opposed to a brightness that I think we have with ours. God, I'm obnoxious talking about that. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say everything you were gonna say, so
like
it was
wine,
all of us.
Yeah, wine people are usually not my people, but now I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
So would you guys release like a Peacho's only bag of peaches?
No, I think we'd tinker with that being, finding a bag that felt right for, and
Yeah.
doing a new version of peach. But
Well, then there were
there's
some flavors we got that we were like, oh, we didn't ask for a melon,
Like
but
someone-
this is a melon flavor.
Because that was one of the other.
It was somebody who tried to make a peach, but it tasted more.
Which I would do
And it
anything to
tasted
put
fully
that.
like a honeydew, but like a good honeydew with a little squeeze of lime on it, like the perfect honeydew. It was
They're like,
great.
you did not get a peach, but you did get a really good honeydew. Here.
It's a solid flavor.
So honeydew probably.
And another peach.
Brilliant. Got one more question here.
This is just like two small things I hadn't seen this movie before, but I've been to Kennywood a few times, so it was fun to see it on there. You guys weren't able to fit the Garfield ride in there. I don't know if you remember seeing that when you were there at all.
Oh, you can confirm whether that was there before.
The Flying Dutchman.
Yeah. Was the Flying Dutchman there before?
I don't think so. Yeah.
I remember it being in the script, but for the sake of today, that was there, and we changed our whole story based around that ride already existing. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yes, I just wanted to bring up the Garfield ride, but also.
I don't remember a Garfield ride. I remember more things just like not working than anything.
Yeah, the park is prone to breaking down a little bit.
But it was also off-season, because obviously that's when we would shoot. It was like school had just gone back into session or something, and so like the place was shut down basically, because kids couldn't go during the week, so we were shooting there during the week.
Okay. And then the second one is we mentioned a lot of stuff you've done, but my favorite thing you've done is NTSF, SD,
SDSU.
Yeah.
So funny.
So I just wanted to see if you still have like fond memories of that. And
I was just telling them a weird story that if you want to hear it, I'll tell you.
yeah.
I met, do you know who Jack McBrayer is? You ever watched 30 Rock?
Yeah.
He's kind of the southern.
Kenneth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did an episode of NDSF SDSUV. This is a tiny show that I was a part of on Adult Swim. And I didn't know him that well, and I saw him at the rap party, and that's where kind of everyone comes together to celebrate the fact that we get to make anything at all in this business. And I said, I don't think you belong here. I don't think they checked at the door, did they? How did you get in here? And he was like, no, excuse me, I know everyone here, and I do belong here. And I was like, I don't think so. And I pushed this bit. This is just a random bit. I was a little drunk for sure. And I picked him up and I took him out of the party physically. And he just was waving his finger and demanding that I put him down, which I did not do. And I took him outside and I don't know, that became a bit that I still do every time I see him. But that bonded us. Like I think that's what improv taught me.
All you improv people do
take
this all the time.
You're wondering what a bunch of improv comedians do is they do bits like that no one else is paying any attention to, but yet they're taking people outside of a party.
Yeah, nobody else probably was watching that at all. It was just us having a fun moment.
In your mind, the whole party saw this.
Now I just hurt my back because I'm older now, and so like I try and pick them up and I just hurt myself and I have to stop.
All right, well, thank you three so much.
Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you.
Thank you for your candy, thank you for your time. It was a blast. So, thank you all, have a great night.
Thanks, Eli.